weeks on just how you can all participate, because we would love to be able to invite everyone to come to that. On that note, I did actually want to take a moment to solicit any feedback that people had on the nomination form. Sam, I don't know if it'll be easy here for me to just screen share the nomination form I have up. If not, I can just let people pull it off the top of their head.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. If it'll let me screen share. Okay, here we go. Let's see.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So, so this was the nomination form this year. And what I'm mostly looking just to hear some thoughts on was if you liked, so all the basic information, what we can keep the same. Was there anything confusing or you'd like to change kind of about the actual nomination questions here, where we asked to describe an AmeriCorps member's service in reference to one of the pillars of AmeriCorps, and then we had a question on the impact, and then just a little thing here for any additional considerations. Is there anything you guys didn't like about this or you'd want to see changed for when we do this next year? And if not, I'll take that as a sign that we're right on with this nomination form, and that'll be less work for me when I do it next year, so I won't complain about that. But if you do have thoughts or any considerations or things which you know as you're considering your member service that you really do want to have like represented there in the form that isn't already, feel free to just reach out to one of us and we'll make that change. All right, I can stop sharing now. And other than that, the only other update I have is just to make a plug for our volunteerism summit that's coming up. I know I had a few of you put in registration so far. I know Katie from IRC, you just registered a bunch of your members and staff, so thanks for doing that. I'm going to put the link to our summit webpage down here in the chat so you can all see it. But we really do have a pretty good lineup of sessions and workshops this year, which should be really relevant to anyone working with volunteers, working in the nonprofit sector in general. And in addition, during the days of the summit, we'll have both an afternoon convening for AmeriCorps programs across the state, so not just the ones within our portfolio, but also working with NCCC and VISTA sites across Virginia. And then we'll have the National Service Awards ceremony on the third day as well. And both of those are free to attend outside of the summit. So even if you don't have people going to the entire days and all the workshops, do make sure that you go in, and there's a separate registration that you can do for free just to attend those two events, which we would, strongly recommend that you all do since they're AmeriCorps related. And any questions, feel free to just put it in the chat or shoot me an email, but that's all I've got from the engagement team.
Thank you, Alex. I'm going to pass it to Kim to talk about program performance reviews. Excuse me.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kimberly Brown, one of the program officers. And I know that everyone in our AmeriCorps portfolio is busy with your term management plans, just turning those in for your mid-year reviews for timesheets, now the performance reports, and the RFA that's coming up in 2024. So been pretty busy this during this point in the year. And now additionally, your program should be busy with performance reviews. Some of you may be have in progress doing those right now or have conducted those. But for programs with the full-time members, this is the point of the year where those reviews take place. And I'm just going to briefly go through the performance review requirement here for any of the new staff members that have joined our portfolio and AmeriCorps family recently. So as you know, programs are required. It's a requirement to conduct performance reviews for your AmeriCorps members. And it is, your performance reviews must be in writing. They must be recorded so you can place it to put it to file in the member's file for at least a midterm and end of term for your full-time members. And at the end of term for all of your less than full-time members. So that's including full-time and then all of your less than full-time members. These performance reviews must address at a minimum required completion of hours. And that's why at this point, we also ask that all of those timesheets that are in Encore be submitted. All the rejections from your AmeriCorps members that have rejected timesheets out there, that all of that's fleshed out and has been returned. And so it's important to have all of that information done and completed prior to getting those reviews done. Working with your site supervisors, all that kind of good stuff, making sure that everyone's on the same page. You want to make sure that the service assignments are completed successfully, as much as success as it can be, or that was be included into their performance review if not. So you want to make sure all of those things are satisfactorily done and completed, and that you have the signatures from the AmeriCorps member as well as the site supervisor signature. Whatever's required and how your processes go for your performance reviews, make sure that all of those things are done. And then any other program-related criteria for your performance, assessing your performance per your individual program that was established at the beginning of the program year. You want to make sure that that's included in those performance reviews as well. Next slide, thank you. So, hey, we're at the mid-year. And so if any program would like to, we would really like to hear from you how everything has gone this year at this point. If any of you would like to share with us briefly how members are doing for those programs who have conducted their mid-year reports. And by sharing, if you would please unmute your line for us and state your name and your project and your program title and your organization for the benefit of some of the new program staff that might be on board in this call. So taking anybody who would like to share, we really like to hear how those things have gone. Anyone? No one wants to share.
There has to be somebody. I feel like there, even like, what about returning members who have served through COVID and now it's not, a whole bunch of things going on. I think Alessandra is raising her hand.
That's true. Okay, Alessandra.
Hi, everyone.
Alessandra.
And so I just want to make sure I'm understanding. We just want to share how members are doing in their mid-year of service. Was that the question? I just want to double check.
Yes. You may proceed.
Well, for my members, because I have a little bit of a smaller team, there was they're in here every day in service. And however, there was concern of a little bit of burnout creeping in for some of my team members. So we designated some time for them to to take care of them and to also make sure that they're don't get burnt out mid-year of service, and try to have some activities for them throughout the day. Try to maybe I don't want to say stop services, but it was like, okay, you can lessen your appointment times to say, because my team does like immigration applications, and we're also doing taxes right now. And the reason why they were feeling a little bit of burnout was because of the tax season and all the rush of getting the applications in, because we're a couple days out from the IRS deadline. And so for me, I did the mid-year reports earlier, a little bit ago. but there was a little bit of sense of maybe a little bit burnout creeping in. So for me, it was important to check in with my members, seeing how they're feeling, seeing how what I could do to better support them, whether it be like cutting down their appointment times or cutting down the amount of people they're serving that day, just to make sure that they are taking care of themselves during service as well.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Burnout is very important at this point of the year too. Anyone else want to share? Oh, let's see. Someone's raising their hand, but I can't tell who that is.
It's Kelly.
Oh, hey, Kelly. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Kelly with just Virginia State Parks. So I was just jumping in for some of the newer programs to give an example. So yeah, our members we started in January with our first group. So they're coming close to the mid-year point. We haven't done our mid-year evals yet. We typically do those in May, but our members did a lot of training sort of at the start of their term of service and have been very busy throughout the state doing lots of prescribed fire and burning, and then also doing a lot of prep work for invasive species sort of removal with like pesticide application training and things like that. So I know Crystal, who's on the call, has been doing a lot to check in with folks, see how they're doing. One thing she's been doing is sending out like little acknowledgements or birthday cards or other recognitions or certificates of accomplishments when people report things in their monthly reports and things like that. So working through some of those pieces. And so I think at the moment, like all programs, we've got some little pain points and frustrations, but the members seem to be doing well.
Okay, thanks, Kelly. All right. Are there any questions out there? Or am I missing someone that has their hands raised?
It doesn't look like it. Joy
Okay.
had just asked if there was a time for Life After AmeriCorps yet. We don't have any times yet. Slip
Okay.
those.
All right. Well, I'll pass it on to the next staff member.
Right on. Thank you. So we have some training opportunities coming up for program staff. And ultimately, if you are interested in any of these, please get in touch with your program officer. We're going to talk about Earn3 Learns, which some staff might have heard about before. AmeriCorps Service Commissions is hosting national service trainings, and they have a virtual option this year if one of your program staff is not going in person, or you haven't budgeted for it. And Shannon could talk a little bit more about that. And then Do Good, Be Good, which is a consulting agency, also has some recruitment support stuff coming up in the summer. So if you've ever been to the On3 Learn website, it's a plethora of information. There's staff courses, member courses, site supervisor, planning grant, just a whole bunch of different things. We have some of those videos, like when Christina was here, we did, some timesheet stuff, some criminal history check, and we have a lot of those videos on our resource portal on Basecamp. But On3 Learn is just like, it's not necessarily a supplement, it's just in tandem building those concepts. They have, let's see, AmeriCorps member files, which we also go over. And a lot of these, if you watch them, they'll give you exactly what you need to do based on AmeriCorps regulations. And they'll say, also talk to your state commission about what specifics they require. So the National Service Criminal History Check one in the middle is a really good one to attend. Developing position descriptions. And so everyone learns differently, right? And so we have the opportunity to get a subscription from On3 Learns, and then possibly, with whatever you might be interested or your new staff interested in, get you registered for some of these courses. So are you or your new staff interested in or need a refresher? So if you want to visit the website and see what they have available that you might be interested in, please notify your program officer about your interest and discuss, what areas you might be lacking. Everyone, needs some refreshers at some point, or some, skill reinvigoration. So your PO is going to work with Shannon to get you registered in whatever capacity that looks like. I have availability summer of 2023. I don't know if it will be before or after that. Shannon, do you know? I think summer is a good target. When we'll have this available.
Summer is a good target. We're hoping we will get it available to everyone. I'm hoping in May.
Oh,
Fingers
cool.
crossed. It's a
That'd be great.
it's a purchasing matter, not an AmeriCorps matter. So if we can move the bureaucratic wheels quicker, we'll try to get our subscription started as soon as possible.
Perfect. So just talk to your program officer if you just want to, and we're going to send out the recording of this call, plus these slides, plus some links after the call. So when you're going back and looking at this, if you're interested, just email your program officer. So Ask America Service Commissions, I'm pretty sure a lot of you are familiar with them. They are a nonprofit that is all things AmeriCorps, and they have national service trainings coming up in the summer. Expanding What's Possible is their little logo. It looks like it's glitching, but it's not. It's just for this. Anyway, so they have 3 or 4 in-person trainings across the country. This year, the East Coast is in Charleston, West Virginia. And we've talked to a couple staff at different programs that you are going. However, we have an opportunity that might be really interesting to some staff, is that there's a possibility for 1 or 2 of your staff at your program to go virtually. And I just cut the virtual agenda from their website, and we can send that out to see if there's anything interesting to you all. There's, a service learning, a process, and a project, grants management 101. That's a really good one. Trauma-informed workspaces. I mean, really great sessions coming up. And we have the opportunity to send you all, not all of you, but some folks to that training. So we're looking at grant covered staff as a priority to send. If you're not going in person or you're not already registered, to let your program officer know by 4/13. So that's next week. The second priority is other AmeriCorps staff who may not be covered. So covered is on the budget in the grantee or CNCS share. If part of the grant is going towards their salary, they're covered. If we have additional seats left, anybody who is not covered, who might also be working on the grant or have AmeriCorps duties, we'll look into registering those folks. We're encouraging at least one person to attend. And Shannon, if you want to talk about the other 2 items on this list, just talking about your training dollars.
Sure. So again, this is the virtual training opportunity that occurs June 7th and 8th, and the cost is $200. So what we're saying is that we have a pool of funds where we can pay for virtual registrations for at least 1 staff person, and that is if in lieu of attending in person. We would like you to revisit your budgets and look and see where you are in spending your staff training dollars. If you had staff training dollars allocated and you mentioned activities, are you going to do those activities? Have those funds already been expended? So look at those. This is an allowable activity, so you could certainly use those funds to attend this or to do the virtual. So we would like you to look at those funds first, because it's important that we show the expenditure on the subrecipient side. And again, we are interested in those of you that are grant covered staff, and that would be those that are in the budget under the CNCS side, where you request reimbursement for those staff folks, or on the grantee share side as well. And well, Sam, I'll let you mention the last piece there in bold.
Oh yeah. So as part of, providing training, paying for training, tracking, information and skills learned or not learned or retained, we're just going to have, an assessment of knowledge. Just what did you learn? What was the takeaways? What was good? What was bad? That kind of thing. So we can start tracking that kind of stuff, making sure our dollars are being utilized judiciously. So any questions about either of those things? Moving on. Do Good, Be Good has a free webinar. I'm pretty sure it's free, yeah, on April 13th about communicating the value proposition of AmeriCorps. So we talk about, you interview an applicant and then they take a different opportunity, or you're not getting them an interview stage. I think this is a good webinar just talk about the value added of doing AmeriCorps. And I don't think it's just about the education award, right? It's not just about the training. It's about a whole litany of things. Employers in national service. I mean, we could all probably name something, a benefit of serving in AmeriCorps. So this is a free webinar coming up. And then Do Good, Be Good also for a fee has a strategy element to what they do. And this opportunity is coming up. I don't know exactly when you have to register by. I think it's coming up in the summer and we can send out more information. But they're interested in looking at your marketing materials. They do a deep dive call with you. They follow up with you, 2 weeks of additional support. Because sometimes it starts there, right? It starts with your marketing materials. It starts about what your messaging is. It starts with how are you grabbing people's attention and keeping their attention? What information are you putting out into the universe to capture that attention? So that is a fee of $250, but you can talk to Shannon if you don't have, money budgeted or if it's allowable costs. And let
Samantha,
your program
just
officer
jump
know.
in there.
Sure.
Oh, sorry, just want to jump in there. I think it's April 5th is for the discount.
Okay. Cool. Gonna pass it to Shannon or anything and everything fiscal.
Just a comment or an acknowledgement that many of you have AFRs in Encore that are not approved. We're looking at those with the support team at Encore to make sure they're reflecting the data that's being pulled when you select the months for reporting. So hoping to get those approved in the next 2 weeks, but you can go ahead and submit those or keep them where they are, obviously, until they're unclogged. And you can continue to submit your periodic expense reports monthly. It doesn't preclude you from submitting the PERs for payment. So just a comment about that. And then also another plug related to the staff training. Again, to please revisit your staff training budgets if you have funds budgeted there related to these opportunities that Sam just mentioned, and also the virtual summit that Alex was describing. It's $75 virtual attendance, and that does have items that would be of benefit. So that would be an allowable cost as well. So just want to make sure you make use of those dollars. And if there are any other questions, you can put them in the chat or unmute share. Do you see anything in the chat?
I don't, but that's so crazy that no one has any fiscal questions. That's crazy. I have at least 10 of them.
Okay. They like to keep it offline.
Fair enough. All right, we're gonna pass to Sasha to lead us in the last of our agenda.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have been hearing from some of you all that you would like more chances to connect, to share with each other, and to do some networking among other AmeriCorps programs. So that is what we've designed this session for. You can see on the screen, we've got kind of 4 main topics of conversation. Looking to talk about what's working for your program. What have you found recently? What resources, what strategies, what tips have been really working well for you? What's not working? Where are you seeing issues? Where are you seeing challenges? Where are you not sure how best to proceed? What do you want to change or improve on in your own program? And then what do you need from the commission? Where are we succeeding? Where are we not succeeding? And what do you want to see us do differently or do more of in the same? So we are going to go ahead and go into breakout rooms of a few, maybe 3 or 4 people. We will go to the breakout rooms for, let's say, 15 minutes, and then we can all reconvene here to share about what you discussed in the networking sessions. Samantha, do you have the breakout rooms option? I'm not sure I have it.
Sorry, I'm doing that right now. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
You're opening. Hell yeah. I did it, right?
I think people are disappearing. It looks like it.
We're disappearing. One room has 3 people, the other room has 5. I just
Okay.
kind of did it randomly.
Perfect.
Very cool. This call's like a dead. Wait, I'm recording, so let's trim that.